Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with Channel Disturbance. This is the FV304, it's the Tier 6 British SPG, and we're located on the north spawn of El Halluf, and it's under the command of Fade to Black of Philox. Now, the Bert, part of the FV series of vehicles, was supposed to be built after the Second World War as light British tanks, and of course this was the SPG version, but unfortunately it never got built. Now it's got a 4.5 inch howitzer as its armament, and we're waiting for Fade to Black to move, and the rest of the team are moving away, but he's still sitting in the spawn point, so maybe he hasn't loaded into the game yet. Nope, nothing yet. Well, nothing also from the MX-12 ton, who happens to be sitting just a short distance away. There is another Arty on the team at 105 FH18B2, Fifi La Pew Pew, and he's off to our north, and he's gone to the village. And still nothing from our FV304, otherwise known as Bert the Avenger, made famous by, I think it was Circon who gave this particular Arty its name. He called one of the FV304s Bert, and then somebody actually called their account Bert the Avenger and had some fantastic rounds in the FV304. And say it's a very small tank, it's a light tank, but it's an enclosed tank, which means obviously you can use vents. And I'm trying to think of things to say about it. Now, he can fire very accurately. That's one of the great things about the FV304. If you can let the aim dial in on the target, you can land shells on engine decks, and it's got such a fast fire rate that you can keep them tracked as well. Right, well, he's gone into this little alcove to fire at the enemy, and he's now looking for targets to fire at. Now, he's got a poodle. That's a Tier 6 Polish medium. Fires a round in. Oh, it lands just to one side of him. There's only 2.2 meters on the splash radius, which means you have to be very accurate with the shots. If you're not accurate, you won't get a hit on the enemy. And for some reason, Fade to Black is not aiming. I think he's been distracted by something. It may have been a telephone call that he had at the start of the game, and maybe he's been distracted by something else, because he's not playing at all. He's just waiting. Oh, now that enemy tank, that T-150, is out of range. You see your flank and reticule? When it goes ovoid like that, you know you're at maximum range. And you can see now he's got a grey line extending at the maximum range point. That tells me you can't fire beyond that point. Okay, so he's zeroed in and he's firing at the rock face. I'm wondering what Fade to Black is doing at this moment. He must have been distracted by something. There was a Stug 3 there for a moment, and he's fired around at the ground, and it lands nearby, but I don't think the Stug was there. And it looks like most of the enemy are out of sight, not out of range. There is one that's out of range, the T-150. He's in sight, but he's just too far away. One of the things about the Stug, that in order to play it, sometimes you actually have to get quite close, dangerously close to the enemy. If you don't get dangerously close, you're going to be out of range. It used to be in the past that you could actually troll tanks with the FV304 because it was so quick and nimble and quick to turn that you could actually get alongside super heavies underneath their gun depression and keep hitting them in the side until they were taken out the game. Now there's that Stug 3, and he's beyond maximum range. Yep, we can't hit him outside range. But that P43 we can hit. And he's waiting for the aim to dial in. No, he's gone into cover. There's the poodle. Now we can hit the poodle. Round out. And he pulls back just as our round goes in. Okay, try and work out where he's going to be. And normally fix up on a certain reference point and then shoot. He fires the round at the poodle. And he gets a direct hit this time. 131 hit points, and he's killed the poodle. So he's on the scoreboard. It does help if you've got a target that keeps moving about like that, and you're constantly adjusting your aim to try and get shots on it. It does help if you fix on a particular point, not aiming at the target, but let the target walk into the shell. So you aim at a particular point, wait for the tank to come onto that point, and then you shoot. It's just a little trick that most Arty players who've played a lot of games will tell you about, but it does help save you from missing the target. And that OI is now in a lot of trouble, but we can help him, so we're going to fire rounds in on the Stug. And we get a big hit on the Stug, 146. That was a good help. We've lost the OI, but we did get a hit on the Stug, and he's out the game. Going for the P43. I'm too late. Those rounds were both from Arty. I think one of those was from the Fifi, the 105 FH18B2. Incredibly accurate Arty. That's another round from the 105. But we're down to 3 tanks, 2 Artys and a heavy, and the enemy's got 5 tanks. So what's he going to do? Well, he hasn't got great view range, so it is a bit dangerous what he's doing now, moving forward, because he might be spotted by the enemy. But the one thing is that the 105 FH has got better view range than he has, and he has been seen, and he's received another hit. So he's got 2 hits there. 104 and 109 hit points, but the P43's been taken out. So he actually aided his own Arty to get a strike in on that P43 by exposing himself to fire. And that was a very brave thing to do for Fade to Black. Any Arty player who's worth his salt will do this sort of thing. They will act as the eyes of another Arty who they know can actually put down accurate fire to damage the enemy. Because when we play Arty, we don't suicide, we fight to win. And if we can win by providing a spot for our fellow Arty, we'll do it. It's also fun to shotgun the enemy when you get close to them. Well, there's one of the enemy right now, VK2801. So Fade to Black's gone to Arty mode, and he's going to try and get a shot on that VK. He's moving forward, and that's why the reticule was bouncing about a bit, because that VK was at maximum range, but he's just been taken out by our VP spotting him, so that one worked as well. He spotted for his teammate and he took out the enemy tank. And there's the M44, the tier 6 American SPG. He's been spotted. The M44 knows where he is, but so does the VP. The VP will be after that M44 as quickly as he can. He's coming around the corner. The M44 has gone unsighted. Can he shotgun that M44? KV1's been spotted, and he's close. There's the M44. And the M44 is trying to turn, but Fade to Black shotguns him in the side. He's going to try and do a drive-by, hit him again. Reload's almost in. He's coming up to the right in front and wipes him out. Brave play, very brave. Well played by Fade to Black. That's what we like to see. Arty going shotgun. It's just so much fun. And the KV1 is down in the valley. He just took out our M6, but we fire a round in and we splash the KV1. It's a close hit, but we're after that KV1. Fade to Black is the sort of Arty player that I like to see on What Arty Noobs. The sort of Arty player who plays like a tank driver, who drives their Arty with using the W key. Because we get accused of not using our W keys enough, but we do use them. Now he's going to try and get sight. Oh, don't turn over. Whatever you do, don't turn over. You don't want to be on your side, not at this point in the battle. He's trying to get a sight on that KV1. Can you see him? No. Okay, the KV1's not in sight. But I know something is fairly close. And that's the cap. He could go ahead and cap now. That will force the KV1 to come back. Surprisingly, we haven't heard from this P43. Okay, he's been spotted. There's the KV1. And he's down the dip. I'm not sure that he can see Fade to Black. Or can he? Yes, he must have seen him. And he's taken him out with an Arty round. 96 hit points. Fantastic round there. Beautifully done. So it's now 2 against 1. Both Artys have managed to prevail against superior numbers of enemy. Fade to Black is now looking at the possibility of winning this for his team. And his gun's sticking in the air in triumph. Now all he needs to do is go cap. Oh, there's the P43. He's on the other side of the map. He needs to get to the cap as quickly as possible. The P43 is probably going to look for him. Can't find him. But if he can get into the cap quickly enough, he might be able to cap out and win before the P43 can get back here. Okay, cap started. Will the enemy cap or will he try to get back? Well, he hasn't gone into the cap so far, which means he's probably on his way back right now. So, can he get back in 1 minute 20 seconds? I don't think so. I don't think that's long enough for the P43 to make it distance. So he's all alone, one-on-one with a medium tank. This could be such a sweet victory if he succeeds. From being outnumbered to winning the game with his VP buddy, who of course was taken out by this P43. So it would be sweet justice that Fade to Black then gets the win after his teammate was taken out. 43 seconds to go. Still no sign of the enemy. Of course, if the enemy does turn up, the best bet for Fade to Black would be to get behind those buildings so he can't be shot at. And that would make it all the more difficult for the enemy. 30 seconds to go. I don't think the enemy's going to make it. I really don't think they're going to get here in time. 20 seconds to go. Everybody's on tenterhooks. This is really killing us. 12 seconds. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's done it! He's won! He's capped out! That's an Invader! And he's won it for his team, and they're all saying fantastic, great, good game, FV. And he said thanks as well. What a game! And yeah, here's the end of battle results. It was only a second-class tanker, but what a game by Fade to Black of Firelox in the FV304. He picked up a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 9. He got a Starks medal. He actually was hit more than 2 times by enemy fire. He survived the battle and received more damage than 2/3 of the hit points of his own vehicle, or block damage, and managed to kill at least 2 enemy tanks during the battle, and he got 3. And on top of that, he got the Invader medal because he managed to cap out with no less than 80 cap points and win. And he capped out with 100 cap points, and he did it. What a round as Bert the Avenger for Fade to Black of Firelox. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, he managed to get 766 hit points of damage. He was actually 3rd on the table. The Fifi driver was a superior player. Stoner 100, 1,521 hit points of damage from the Fifi. The 105 FH18B2 proved how efficient he was. He managed to get 4 kills and 1,521. The OI Experimental managed 1,160 in the scraps that were going on. But Fade to Black in his FV304, 766 hit points from 3 kills. If we look at the kill table, we can see the Fifi was right at the top. Bert was right behind, well, Fade to Black was right behind with 3, and then the OI Experimental with 2. And when it came to base XP, he was 3rd on the table again with 611. Again, this time it was the OI Experimental who had the top amount. Then the Fifi with 676. But 611 from Fade to Black is a good score. So let's have a look at the detail report. He fired 11 rounds during that battle, got 6 direct hits, 6 penetration, 3 splash. Damage of 766 hit points, of which 277 was at more than 300 meters. Remember, that M44 was close to point blank range when he blew him away. He received 2 hits during the battle, both were penetrations. Those were when he exposed himself to fire to allow the Arty, the 105, to FH18B2 to kill that P43. He actually risked his life to receive those shells just so that his fellow Arty could get accurate shots on the enemy. Both of those shots were penetrations. He damaged 5 of the enemy, 1/3 of the enemy team. He killed 1/5 of the enemy team, 3 enemy tanks. He did damage assistance of 17 hit points, and he managed to get 100 capture points to win the game. He received 15,352 credits on the standard account, and after repair, ammunition resupply and consumables, he actually suffered a loss of 9,385 credits. But I don't think he'll mind that, because he won the game and he did so spectacularly. He received 611 XP, base XP, and it was ×2 for the first victory of the day, so he walked away with 1,222 experience points altogether. But I think actually that everybody will remember how brave he was to go out there, spot for his teammate, and they certainly did the damage between them. And that last shot on the KV1 as well, to take him out across the valley accurately, because he was the biggest threat, because he was closer to the cap. And if Fade to Black had actually gone into the cap at that point, I'm sure the KV1 would have returned and taken out Fade to Black. But he took out that KV1 in the valley. Then he did the right thing. He jumped straight into the cap as soon as the P43 had taken out the Fifi, and he won for his team. I'm not sure where that P43 was by the end, but I think he was probably kicking himself that he didn't get into the cap as soon as possible to try and force a draw. Instead, he tried to drive all his way back, and he failed. So well done to Fade to Black of Firelox. If you enjoyed this replay, because I certainly did, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in the next video.